A thread by Rex from social.quodverum.com. It's interesting. When you consider the colossal cheating by the Dems in this election, you can't help but think back to their failure in 2016. Given the likelihood that Clinton was also relying on tabulated tech, mail ins, and various other ways that the Dem crime syndicate have used to cheat, you can't help but wonder if Trump also won that election in a landslide. It's becoming clearer now that the reason for Clinton's defeat in 2016 may well have been the same in 2020. An unexpected MAGA tsunami of voters on election day. Back in 2016, their crime machine just didn't have enough mail ins to turn the tide in her favor following election day. And if it did, perhaps the remaining wiser heads in the Democratic Party opted against panic. Also, the Dems may not have had their crime machine set up for such a massive fraud in 2016. Instead of relying on massive dumps of illegal mail in ballots before dawn, they opted to concede and then nix Trump with Trump Russia and fake news. In other words, sedition. Didn't work, did it? Nothing they've tried against Trump has ever worked, nor will their latest crime either. I think the Dems made sure that their mail in dump machine was fully set up for the 2018 midterm elections. Like any organized crime group, they set up a massive vote fraud operation across the United States, also working with shadowy criminals overseas. They emerged from the midterms emboldened. To a certain degree, their fraud had worked. I don't know about you, but I remember feeling exactly the same confusion after the midterm elections as I did on November 4th, 2020. The Dem results in the House with extremist leftists being selected all over the place didn't seem to make any sense. Now we know what was likely going on. From their point of view, 2018 was likely a major success. Anxious not to repeat the 2016 disaster, they then went all in for the steal of all time, a rigged 2020 presidential election. And of course, because they are evil idiots, they screwed it up. Just like 2016, they underestimated the massive MAGA tsunami on election day. Yes, they had their mail in fraud machine in place, but the dump required to catch up to Trump was so massive, it was certain to be discovered. They overreached. Cover blown. What's incredible to me is how inept their leaders have been. The Democrats have, without a doubt, been convinced of their eventual victory since 2016. After all, no one was stopping them. Trump was a hapless fool, besieged in the White House under constant attack 6 ways from Sunday. Did no one in the Democrats' senior ranks ask, this just seems all too easy, guys? Are we being played? Are we being played by Trump? I mean, he's survived and won in New York City, the toughest business environment in the world. Shouldn't that be telling us something? You know what? I don't think they ever considered this. Not once. I don't think anyone ever asked the question. As a result, the Dems failed to realize that they were being set up by a strategist of total genius. As many of us have said many times, once you've seen Trump's genius, you can't not see it. All you can do is marvel with astonishment at it. Trump knew the Dems were rigging elections well before 2016. He knew they'd do it in 2018. He let them. Trump understands his enemies better than they understand themselves. Between 1970 to 2008, he was a Democrat for much of the time. Trump knows all their secrets and their plans. By using the Donald, which he invented, Trump was able to project the crude billionaire caricature into the Democrat inner circles. They would come to him for money, drop their guards, and reveal secrets. They had no idea who they were dealing with. A patriot, an ascetic warrior monk with a mind like a steel trap and a will of iron discipline, who detested their arrogance, decadence, greed, and corruption. Trump came to understand their secret machine very early on, but they never worked out Trump's secret machine. A massive error on their part, but typical of the left, especially under Obama's awful leadership. And so, Trump has kept projecting weakness, knowing it emboldens his enemies. In this case, to rig the 2020 presidential election, the worst crime in the history of the American Republic. The problem for the conspirators is this. They're likely now realizing with horror that they've been lured to their own killing ground by Trump. Imagine their fear and panic. We rigged the election. Trump has been on to us from the start. I have no doubt at all that everything Trump has done since he was elected has been for precisely this moment. All the baits, lures, Judas goats, distractions, fake leaks, everything. It has been a blizzard of confusion and chaos that the Dems have never tried to unlock. If they had, they may not have found themselves in their current predicament. Now, they're boxing at shadows, trying to work out what Trump knows, while hoping that flatulence by fake news will keep them afloat. We won, we won, we won, we won. Go ahead, losers. Squawk it all you like. May as well be shouting into a raging tempest. Changes nothing in reality. Too late. You've been trapped. The problem for the Dems is that without power, they don't know how to fight and win. These are people who became used to getting what they want with power. They became lazy and arrogant because they had control of the levers. Without that control, however, the Democrat crime syndicate is no match for a movement that has needed to learn to win not just without power, but while being under 24/7 attack. The MAGA movement can keep fighting forever in all conditions with no fears, as the march proved. Be in no doubt, the sight of those crowds in D.C. would have been a huge blow to the people of the lie. Unfortunately for them, MAGA is also led by Donald J. Trump, the ultimate apex predator, who is now playing with them like a cat does with its prey. The Dems, no doubt, have convinced themselves that Trump has nothing on them and no path to victory, that the fight is almost over. Dear, dear me. Delusion is strong in them. Trump has it all and has caught them all. You can be distracted by the 24/7 noise and drama if you like. I won't be. It only gets worse from now for the enemies of the Republic. Yes, they will flail out. It's going to get hot. Stay safe. But the trajectory is now clear. In reality, the Democratic Party is a divided, exhausted, and shattered pile of ruins. The only mercy they will get now is the mercy allowed to them by POTUS Trump, who wants to ensure that the Republic is not destroyed by this victory, or more accurately, by their epic defeat. Well, well, well. Cheats never prosper, as the saying goes. The Dems and their goons thought they would defeat the master. They thought wrong. Now, pain. MAGA.
I will be the greatest president that God ever created.